Eve paints.
Hey folks, welcome to another 3D printing Patreon preview. Sorry it's so late. I've just started a new job and don't have much time to make videos just now. I'll do my best to make at least one of these videos a month, and in a few months when my life is more settled, hopefully I'll be able to get back to creating more. For today, I have 165 campaigns to share with you. First though, one of them, Papsikels, has a new Frontiers campaign on my mini factory that I'd like to share. Cyber Saga Episode 1, 16 Cyberpunk minis, from lowly cyborg reapers to high-tech god droids. There are 14 more models already unlocked in the stretch goals, and more than 2 weeks left to unlock the rest. Papsikels is one of my oldest patrons, and I can't thank them enough for their support. Check out my Patreon to get the Joey Pratt's model that they've graciously shared with all of my patrons. Also, don't forget to check out the Hive. They're another one of my patrons and produce the amazing Hive Droids army. I love showing off the huge Thunder Crash droid at the beginning of every episode. A little later, I'll show you some work in progress teasers of their next army, Corsairs. My patrons this month will receive their Hive Droid Warriors. Thank you so much to the Hive for supporting the channel. Quick content warning, some of these campaigns contain pinups and objectified models. Link in the description to a video discussing why that needs a content warning. First up, this is the Eagle Hunter from Ogoreg Miniatures. From Ernest Nemirovsky, this is Alvin, the Alchemist, as well as a Youth Eternal bust. This is Karl Ruprecht Cronin, originally from Hellboy by Creature Armory. Hell Creator has 3 diorama models this month: Stray, Zagreus, and Tifa. Ronin Arts Workshop has busts of several monks and a couple other models. This is a work in progress shot of The Anointing from Ritual Casting. Fotis Mint is back with Mandalorian and Treebeard busts, as well as a couple other work in progress beasties. Channel patron Nom Nom Figures has 3 new statues, including Chibi Chell from Portal, Cerberus, and Roy Mustang from FMA. This is a Fido Pokemon from Pixel Chronicle Miniatures. Isekai Heavy Industries has new Sabertooth and Beast models, along with some city terrain. B-Team Minis has a new Skull Kita with Stall Children and Dead Hand bases. From my news channel patron, Man I Love Figures, here are some Zelda and Kratos fan art. .3DP Miniatures has a mechanic, John and Olivia from Greece, and The King. From Ethan Savage Studios, these are Sora, Riku, Karn, Megumin, Guri, Mihoshi, and Fan. Lino is the first Thundercat model for August from Pop Minis. .3DXM has a new Daredevil mini and a Lino chibi. Prey Collection Studio has a work-in-progress The Crow model for their September release. My Pokeprints has new 5th gen starters, some 9th gens, a Gardevoir Poke Pinup, a Cyclizar, and articulated Eevees. Printed Obsession has 4 free evolutions this month, as well as their usual monsters a little later. Here is a smashing new model / diorama from Trident Studios. Here are 6 new superheroes from channel patron C27 Minis and Terrain, as well as some vehicles and scatter to liven up your tabletop. From RN Studio, here is Classic JRPG Volume 9. Channel patron RFI Prince has been working on a new modular Roman-themed fortress and a Roman galley ship. Dadi Dungeon and Dintorni has a few bits of scatter terrain to go with their Salmistia buildings for this month. Admiral Apocalypse has released their Corrupted Temple set of bases and bits, and even included a mini this time, a Greater Demon. From Project Mobius, this is a pachinko parlor, vending machines, a food truck, scatter terrain, and more. Orc King has new bases, FX, and tokens for their Golden Army. Here are the first previews of The Cursed City in the Edge of the Forest from Savant 3D. Sable Badger has a new Gaslands Sci Fi racetrack terrain set. Dragon Workshop has the Amber Temple Part 1 with terrain tiles, statues, golems, props, and more. Aether Studios has a mobile dwarven pub, curio shop contents, spaceship bridges, the Ark of the Covenant, and more. Tiny Furniture Digital is working on a Noble's Bedroom for their next set. Tesseract Tomb has 3 free sci-fi vending machines for you. Dark Realms has some teaser images of a new set, The Walls of the Ivory City. Gamescape 3D is working on The Witch of Hauntwood Mines for September and October. KMFP Designs has a new Outrunner ATV with many turrets, a heavy mobile weapon battery, and a bunch of new orbital knights. Here is the reworked and completed Demons of Excess army from channel patron Tordo Minis. Varus Miniatures has small-scale fly cavalry with little plague demons for riders. Green Skin Miniatures has a new Lich Priest with her Skull Chukka, and Skelly Cavalry with swords and spears. Here are several stages of work-in-progress shots of a Satoda APC by Wake's Emporium. This is a work-in-progress reptilian Megadon from Forest Dragon. This is the Hammerhead from K-Scale Models. From IG, these are the Swift and Swarm drone system. Soulforge Studios has 7 new variations on 2 models of Pirate Elf Destroyers. Here's a sneak peek of some Scum from the Outer Rim by Blue Wolf Miniatures. Channel patron Lost Heresy has a new crashed shuttle for Away Team Red, and a fairly suspicious looking Dorngun Noble. Niverdale Tabletop has 4 stormtroopers that brought blasters to the party, as well as some crates of fun. Okusa 3D Designs has the Cyborg General, a 100-legged tank, and a bunch of alien flora basing bits. The Rebel base build is working on a Haxian Brood droid and new Sci Fi panels. Darkfire Designs has a new Starfighter, Imperial Inquirers, and a Termination Trooper squad. The latest release from Extra Guy includes hammer tanks, Marines in power armor, weapons, a bust, and more. Matt Mason has 6 mechs for you, with a Timberwolf, Crusaders, a Nova Cat, and more. Skullforge Studios has some new mech pilots and their multi-part mechs. Spectre Miniatures has a machine gun addition to their DIY armored truck. Turn-Based Miniatures is working on a SEAL team and a new tank. Channel patron Papsikels has new human colonial marines and several species of aliens for them to face. Here's a first look at the autonomous drones that Anvil Digital Forge is working on. Channel patron Fantastical Sculpts is adding a Monarch Assault platform and Dreadnoughts to their Paladin army. From Christian Frank, here's some sort of Gothic-themed tank. Polygrim has an army of Space Dwarves this month, with their Stone Galaxy set. These are Space Dwarfs from Dusk Realm Miniatures, with Roadstriders and Iron Assault battlesuits. This spear-wielding marine with the top knot is by Calf Art Studio. Ratman Forge has a new Grav bike, as well as some peeks at what's coming next month. For Proxies, Reiko Vendetta has a new elite unit for their Guard of Rebirth army, and a new monster for alien parasites. Mecha Miniatures has 3 new Orc bikers this month, with lots of different weapons and bits. Here are the first early work-in-progress shots of the new Corsairs army that channel patron The Hive is working on. This is the C-15 Rock Dove from channel patron Golden Dragon Games, as well as some heavy weapons for their Concordian Starborn. Red Nebular has new Space Dwarf Heavy Hoverhoggers and Sorps. Diverging Realm has a new Heavy Marine and Coven Heavy Jet Bikes. The latest models from channel patron The Dork Factory are this Ragebound Techno Demon and the multi-part Gorbot Destroyers. This is Tavish the Mercenary from Imitation of Life Miniatures. Blue Sky Minis has Super Armor Boy #1. Claybeast Creations is working on heroes for their Starscales army of Sci Fi Saurians. This is Rick Ripperjack and a juvenile Grox from House Barteth. Daka Store have a Hive King model to add to their August release. Mr. Modular has a couple dozen new bits and upgrades for their truck model from last vid. DMG Minis has a nice set of Marines rendered in gray this week. Gearguts the Mech Shop has new Iron Crusade Heavy Flamers, Jump Bruisers, Boom Buggies, Claw Walkers, and more. Print Minis has a new cab for their Colossus truck, a Bounty Hunter, and a whole new Linebreaker Heavy Transport. Saul White Studio has a new Orifix Exterminator tank, a Scalios Guard creature, and hollow ones for their Legions of Kuraba. For Proxies, channel patron Papsikels has a new vehicle and characters for their Space Rambutans, as well as an Orc character remix model this month. Atlan Forge has new Demons of Hades, as well as Void Lord Tangaroa, Reaper of the Tide, for their Waitoa army. Station Forge has new Marching Grimguard, a fighter plane, Scavenger Bracer droids, and Orkaz Thazaron. Gomek has new Wild West Orcs, Chaos Titans, and Cult of Mars models. Cyberforge Miniatures has new squads of Jesters and Jet Bikes this month. The Maker's Cult has a new Iron Hive Psycholiath, Dark Techno Legion Axi, and guest models from Station Forge and Diverging Realm. One Page Rules has a new addition to their Saurian Starhost army. And check out the Fantasy Warbands section of this video for more Plague and Change demons. These are the Star Collective Clawraker pack from 3D Print Cleric for August. KLT Studio has an interesting looking cast of characters, maybe a street gang? Print, Paint, and Play have several species of aliens to add to their Solar Dragon from last video. Crypta Studio has this colorful character with a pipe. Here are all the aliens, mutants, and military folk that Random Miniatures has come out with this month. These are Chris, Jill, and Hunk by Vault Z. These are the Vogel from Big Mr. Tong, as well as an unlucky fellow on a horse. Gadgetworks Miniatures has a Mongolian horse archer, a yurt, and a couple yaks. From Gangfight Games, this is Lee Rowland of the Clancy Gang. Maddox Historical has a large squad of Polish Uhlans in Saxon service. These are the Caballeros Villanos from Reconquer Designs, as well as some Berber casualties. Lost Hobbyist Miniatures has turned their senior barbarians into the Hacking Hunchbacks football team. Reiko Vendetta Studio is working on a fantasy football team of Amazonas. Mythpool RN Studio has part 1 of their Vengeance fantasy football team. The Dragon's Lake Miniatures has a fantasy football team from the Dwarf Kingdom. Ugni has a new team of High Elves. Caleb Makes Minis has 4 adorable mousefolk, an archer, a smith, a miner, and a ninja. Blue Wyvern is working on Sharkfolk for next month. Here are a spearman and a warrior. Stonehaven Miniatures has a bunch of new Spelljammer minis with Griffs, Thrycreen, Deck Apes, and more. Papunky Creatures has a gecko theme for the month of September. Naga Minis has some new Quokka folk to go with the Corgi and Axolotl from last vid. These are the folks of Badgertown from Goonmaster Games. Epics and Stuffs has a new Howlkin and an Owlkin Engineer. Here's a Ratfolk Sorcerer that Manuel Boria is working on. Diceheads has a team of Turtle Adventurers this month. Bright Minis has 3 Animal Folk Adventurers and 1 Human Wizard. Cobra Mode is working on Crane Folk for September, and all these ninja folk are fragments of their vengeful god Nemesis. Sculptuner has a couple new battle mages, as well as some castle ruins for them to defend. Your Neighbor Night Minis has a bar with stage and patrons, including a dwarf and an orc having a disagreement over a game of cards. Zandoria Studios has a new female gnome. From Crosslances, here are 3 mid-August half-orcs. Here is a band of mercenaries from Lion Tower Miniatures. Duncan Shadow has a multi-part set of Halfling Goat Cavalry. Twin Goddess Miniatures is working on an Oaken Hollow theme for their next release. Here are 2 Dwarven Barbarians from Avatars of War, Legendary Heroes. This is Sophia the Firekeeper from Bite the Bullet. Broken Anvil Monthly has a fun Fantasy 1920 set, The Lords of Loxhaven. One gold piece has a work-in-progress Trained Assassin. Cyberforge Miniatures has the Basement Dice Club with adventurers and monsters. The Titans of Adventure from Titanforge this month include a fighter, rogue, and monk, as well as a few adversaries for them. MZ4250 has a bunch of new adventurers and monsters for their Monsters of the Multiverse set, and some new fan requests including a white dragon. From Iconic Minis, here's a free Minotaur / Beastman. Here's an early look at the next demon that Standart Painting is working on. For September, 3D Print Cleric has Tormented Ones, Crossbow Ghasts, and Endless Night. This completed demon is the second model from the Portal of Morrow, with a concept coming from an artificial intelligence. Arch Colobus has a set of 6 Drogers this month. These are all the Chromatic Dragons and Yinobu, Lord of Savagery from WTH Studios. Stormcrow has new Owlbears and a Spellweaver for classic monsters, and Eldrazi's Brood and Thalids for Magic the Gathering creatures. Orc Skull Miniatures has a set of Trolls coming for September. From the Surreal Factory, here's 2 Great Old One models and a Hellish Beast. The September set from Spirit of Resin will include a Scorpion King, Daughters of Apophis, Priests of Anubai, and more. Arcanum Workshop is working on Droger Lords for September. This is one of The Possessed from Magori Miniatures. Printed Encounter has new Forest Goblins, a Spriggan, and a Skeleton Bowman. From Village's Hope Miniatures, here's a Zombie Dragon, Blood-Sucking Demon, Living Armor, and more. Warp Miniatures has work-in-progress shots of Bugane and the Lambton Worm. Titan Troll Miniatures has new Doppelgangers, a couple of Dwarves, and a Barbarian Pinup. This is the Astral Annihilator from Rocket Pig Games. Knucklebones has a team of Brewster troops, as well as Road Warden No. 1, Stumphead, and the Horned One. This is the Grimoires of Madness from Flesh of God Miniatures, with villains, monsters, heroes, busts, and scenery. This is a MOA from Schlossbauer. One of them is a patron-only version. Printed Obsession has a marionette and a voodoo doll theme this month. Comet Lord Miniatures has a new Forge-born Juggernaut, Ronin Warrior, Death Oni, the Dream Eater, and Nukelavi. Daybreak Miniatures have some bonus shields to go with their modular Fang Clan of Dogor this month. Vivictus Miniatures has previews up for 6 new orcs, as well as a couple of townsfolk. Miyake has a new Alicorn, a Frostbite Valley collection, and 4 creatures from Ella's Arcanum, commissioned works from her art students. Great Grimoire is working on some monstrous undersea creatures, as well as some orc pirates to oppose them. Here are some work-in-progress shots from Isashi Kyojin Studio of a dragon and a Kenku. The September set from Crippled God Foundry is the Era of the Great Serpent, with a race of jungle snake folk called the Ophidians. RN Studio has new RPG monsters and Inside the Magic Forest sets this month. Epic Miniatures has an Arcane Dungeon set for September, with dragons and many other monsters, as well as open-lock wizard room tiles. Lord of the Print is planning a set titled Let's Burn the Sacred Forest. Archvillain Games has some creepy monsters this month to go with their Grief Harvest Coven. Artisan Guild has demon hunters, including heroes, anthropomorphs, and the old wolf Fenrir. Lost Hobbyist Miniatures has added Death to their Senior Barbarian set for August, and have Granny Barbarians coming for September. From Hollow Miniatures, here are a mounted Wood Elf Lord and Spear, as well as a mounted High Elf Lord. Vinci Miniatures has a free Ratfolk Standard Bearer, as well as a work-in-progress Wind Globadiers, Ratfolk Bombers. Legend Builds has the Royal Guards of Megapeon. Battle Yak Miniatures is working on a Strong Root army for September. Dragon's Lake Miniatures has new Dwarven Throne Guards and Standard Bearer. Ilhadiel has new battle standards for their Order of the Ancients army, as well as new Centaur Archers, Naiads, Earth Elementals, and Hippogriffs. Here are Assassins, Sword Dancers, and Guards from the Cerulean Kingdom, as well as a Thief with a Monkey and Djinn, and a few townsfolk from Labyrinth Models. Kurzluck Miniatures has a new Golden Emperor, as well as modular troops and cavalry. These are work-in-progress Lesser Demons from Edge Miniatures, the Cursed Dimension. Dvale Games has sneak peeks of Bloody Elf Commanders and Silver Goat Spearmen. Last Sword Miniatures is working on characters and guardsmen from Avernia, as well as a nice griffin. Clay Cyanide Miniatures has a new faction of insectoids, the Colony of Barnacle. Highlands Miniatures has more Sons of Ymir, with hammers, crossbows, and a couple bits of scatter terrain. The fantasy release from Gomek looks like Sky Dwarves versus Sea Elves. Titanforge Miniatures has a new Dragon Empire Warband, with a dragon, lots of champions, modular troops, and more. One Page Rules has part 2 of their Double Daemons, Plague Daemons, and Daemons of Change. That's all for now. Huge thanks to all my patrons on Patreon. Your support is what has kept this channel running. I'll do my best to have another Patreon preview around the 3rd week of next month, so keep an eye out for that. Hopefully I can find time to make more content before then. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the videos, and thanks for watching!